right, everybody, we are fucking back, man, and it feels so good. Thank you guys for your continued support. We apologize for your break, but we are back, and your support is much appreciated from me and Waldo both. He is here. Here is Waldo. He's right here. And now, before we get with the long way to break, we have so much to talk about. I mean, our pre-show meeting here was just about 30 minutes of us BSing, so this episode's gonna go crazy. But before we get really started on all the awesome stuff we got for you, of course, you know what we got to tell you about. The people over at Diana, they are still continuing their amazing support. They got jerseys on the wall behind me. New version jogger pants have come out. I mean, they have so much stuff on the website, I honestly can't even tell you. New stuff coming up every day. Sunglasses, jerseys, and of course, you need custom apparel, they will hook you up. Custom jerseys. I know the Slug Kings right of our area just got their jerseys made up. They are awesome. Anything else you need, pants, like I said, shirt, they'll even whatever, man, hoodies, like it's all great. And then when you go there, the code is overshot and you'll get 15% off your order. Again, great company. Please continue to support us. We see you guys do that and it feels really good. Brings a smile to my face and Waldo's too, man. And
Absolutely.
of course, the other company that's awesome, the best gear bags on this planet. And if Elon Musk has anything to say about it, Mars as well. Volcano, man, I'm telling you, their gear bags are great. Perfect size, man. I mean, I fits everything I need. If you're a guy that maybe has 14 guns and you like 12 autocockers and 9 tanks in your bag because your team is a bunch of scrubs and they don't have their own gear, this might not be the bag for you. But I know I have one. Waldo has one. Our brother has one.
Absolutely.
Everyone I know has one of these. They're really just perfect. And like I said, they're not a roller bag. So when it rains in Texas or Philly or wherever you're at a national event, you're not dragging it through the mud. Things on your back, you're out. And I know the one feature that everybody loves that I'm trying to use a little more is you can strap your gun to the side of it. I'm trying to use that more. But you can just put your whole setup, tank and all. It's got a special little spot that goes right on the side of your bag so you can leave your thing set up and ready to play whenever you want. Their website is Volcano USA, and I believe the code is Overshot. You got to put 10 or 15, I think, at the end for them to get
Overshot 10 for Volcano, and we appreciate their support as always. And same with Diana, but even going off on it, man. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. We're back. We're gonna be doing this. Don't hold it to it as much as we can.
we're not
we
going
want
to
to have
number as often as we can. That's what we're going to say.
we want to have everybody. We want to have everybody on the podcast. Unfortunately, one day. One day. That's what we're aiming for, to get everybody on the on the podcast.
One day
it's
you're
good to see
here
everybody.
Share your voice, but right now, unfortunately, it's just us two. I mean, we're both incredibly attractive men, so you're just going to have to look at the two of us until we're done talking. But once again, dude, I'm just really happy you guys have continued to rejoin us. I mean, we had a little bit of our break. Sometimes life catches up, work and everything. But we are back, and we're going to here to talk about the TSXL most recent event. And we're also going to dig in a little bit to the Lone Star event, mostly because, honestly, the last couple of days, Waldo and I have done nothing but talk about it. But with TXSL coming up, we definitely want to give the league some shine because it was an awesome event, my guy, right?
Yeah, man, I definitely appreciate it out. Shout out to my staff, Dustin Wood, Cyan Lopez, Robert Collins, Brian Quintana, the staff at Long Live, Dylan Lee, Rich, Long Live's been, all those guys, they all kill it. Evan Cooperstein, Anthony Heimowitz, all those guys, Jim Kim, shout out to all of them, now that I kind of got that out of the way, I know you mentioned, Diana's hooking up the Slug Kings and Slug King. I want to make sure there's no S at the end, guys.
No S.
No S at the end. So they, some of my, longtime buddies, longtime friends, were playing on that team. And they ended up winning the event for Division 5. Steve hasn't played in years, took this very seriously. They ended up taking the win over the New York Police Department team, which was another great, fantastic team. Bunch of good guys, Joe Cassell, Vinny Sirocco, bunch of great guys. This Division 5 blew my mind about how good they were.
Right, guys. And also,
some of
before
these
we get
teams.
too into this, I know we're gonna get talking. If you want to go back and check any of this out, Comp Paintball did a live stream, so the game he was just even talking about, NYPD versus Slug Kings, is on that. So if you guys want to go watch some of these games, definitely go back because I mean, especially on that one, we'll probably talk about in a second. I mean, Brian scored an 8-second point. He ran from start box to start box and hit the buzzer with no one alive. I mean, I don't think you were there. You may have left at that point, but I was there. To witness that in person
I was
was
there the whole time.
fucking crazy, dude. Fucking crazy. When he hit that buzzer, the pits erupt. First of all, when he got shot at the end, his back was lit up, dude. Oh my god. Oh,
I was right there watching it, and Brian, shout out to Brian from the Slug King. You know, came through the middle, unscathed, hit the buzzer. I honestly think, and we'll see what the NYPD got. I think that the NYPD guys thought it was their own player coming back from getting
they had
shot,
to have.
and then because nobody put a gun on him until
Nobody.
he hit the buzzer, and then all of a sudden, obviously you're gonna turn and whatever, you're gonna release that guy, but
Right.
that was the key point to put them over the edge to beat the NYPD team, who I thought was the favorite to win. And there were still some other great teams. You had Step Bros D5.
Right. They ended
You
up taking
know,
second to
Step
Slug
Bros.
Kings, which was a good game to watch as well. Slug Kings against Step Bros.
Yep, and Step Bros. Those D5 guys have been grinding real hard. Some of them are from their D5 line last year, but most of them are not. Most of them are just newer guys that have been at long live grinding hard on this layout. We're a little bit shaky on some things, but we got this.
Don't worry.
So
My internet may have crashed for a minute. We're back. We're good.
Division 5 went off very well. That was the first day that we had. And then we also had
D3 on the first day too, which was I think is really exciting. It was something I want to touch on because I know that OPS does a little bit, and I know NEPL, but I mean, for the most part, man, you're trying really hard to bring these D3 local D3 events. So I definitely want to bring some shine to that because for a while it's been really tough to get a lot of teams
absolutely.
to kind of come out. Like I said, even I mean, you could speak more because I know you go there a little more than I do. But Matt's offers D3, but I don't think they get more than like 4 or 5 teams. Am I wrong?
So I got to give big shout outs to Matt. We're sticking with the D3, even though there was only
Right,
four
and
or
they
five
run it.
teams.
So big shout out to them because, like I said, I know it runs regardless.
Right. So for the past couple years, I had some success and a lot of failure with, I had 10 teams, I had 0 teams the next event. So there was
Right.
a lot of give and take. This year, I will have to say is that between all the leagues are looking, all pretty much every league right now is looking pretty healthy,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. But it's like I got to give a shout out to the Mets Outback. They do a great job up there. I was sold out last event.
Yep.
I told some teams to go up there to play, and they ended up selling out. And Tom does good work up there. So shout out to them. And it
That's
has
so
been
good
hard
for
to.
our area. That's so good for the talent in our area to have all these local events like that.
Right. And Matt's Outback, it depends what your version of local is. Matt's Outback's a little bit on the further end of the spectrum for some people. And
Paintball local, so within
uh,
4 hours of driving.
yeah, well, that's when you live on Long Island, that's how it is. When you live in
Yeah.
Jersey, sometimes they just got, you know,
Right.
so many there's so many great fields in New Jersey. And sometimes it kind of cannibalizes each other. But again, going off on that D3,
Right.
we
Sidetrack.
had 8 teams. We had 8 teams. We had John Doe's ended up coming out with the win, which
Yep.
was great because that team was a D4 team last year. They got third
Right.
place at TSXL. Only 2 of their players were ranked D3 at this
That's
event, and the rest of them were D4, and a lot of them were, you had some guys that are D4 by ranking. They played D5 last year. They did pretty good. Some of those Tropic Thunder guys.
yep.
So that was great to see over the newbies, and the newbies were like one of the best D4 teams last year.
Yeah.
They were. If they played all my events, I think they easily could have won the series. Um, but they played, they played here and there. They pulled my events. They podiumed last year. So this event, they got second place. It's pretty similar roster, one or two ads or whatever. But they had sturdy team, like
Yeah. No
newbies,
household
man, a
name.
sturdy
Household name.
organization. You know what I mean? So that and then on third place
Newbies
we
had a,
had.
oh sorry, but newbies
Go
had a
on.
D5 line, and I was telling our guys like, listen, they're a household name, so like, yeah, it's D5 or whatever, so he's not gonna be too experienced. But if they're in the newbies like umbrella, like they're probably putting in some work. So yeah, no hip firing from the fucking box. All right, guys. Pug up.
No, exactly. From top to bottom on the newbies, there's some level of organization and that everybody should expect from them.
Right,
Don't overlook anybody, but don't underlook them either.
dude,
So
1,000%, 1,000%.
so they had a D3. We're gonna shout out to the newbies. They had a D3 line, a D4 line, and a D5 line this event.
Right.
Last event one. So that's thanks for
Everything.
supporting. Thanks for supporting the league, and there was you know you had all types of old timers came out that haven't played in a long time. You know what I mean? Or and that's good for the game. You had the newer deep guys, a lot of new teams like the Long Island Red Rockets,
Yep.
Long Island Shakedown,
Shakedown. Yep.
West Hampton Bad Boys, and we're Long Island guys, so I'm always going to give a little bit of nod to the Long Island guys.
Yeah.
All those guys.
If you guys are
I
new to the
didn't even
program,
know
by the
them.
way, we live on Long Island, so we're gonna give our Long Island brethren a lot of love. If you're new to the
I didn't even
program.
know them. I didn't even know them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and then third place, rounding out the D3 real quick, is we had
88
some
squad.
of my 88 squad, and I've known, Scott and Nick and all these guys for ages, and it was
Right.
good to see them come, but and they never really retired, but they play here and there. It was good to see them come back out, podium,
Yeah.
you know. Breezy didn't play, but Breezy's been a long time buddy of mine. Scenario games, tournaments. Breezy's kind of like us in the sense that Breezy played everything,
Right.
and shout out to the 88 squad. Shout out, the other teams that haven't played were in the D3. And if I forget anybody, I'm sorry, but I'm
Right.
firing from the hip here. We also had
Hey, listen,
payload.
we can't go through
Payload.
every player on every roster. We gave you the top
Right.
three. We gave you the top three. We gave you the
Payload.
podiums, man.
Payload. Fourth place. I know we had the 302 destroyers came out.
Hmm.
Wolves and Co. stepped up. Legacy didn't do the best, but they stepped up, and mostly D4 guys, and they stepped up and are trying to do something in this D3, and I'm seeing that this year. That Wolves, a lot of
Right.
teams that they could play D4 if they want to, but they're playing D3. So I got to give a shout out and I would respect all that. And
They're trying to get
people
better.
come. Event two again is sold out. There's some different teams. Life happens. People can't make things. We get it. It's fine. But as long as you give us enough time to kind of work things out. Things have been working out. Like I said, some teams weren't able to make event one. They were making event two. So we're gonna work it out.
Right.
I have a team from Maryland that I didn't even know about. Like this team called the Dirty Birds, and I'm like, all of a sudden I'm trying to work it out with all the teams that played the last event. You get priority, and then okay, you can't make it. We'll open up the spot. So I open up the spot, thinking I might have another localish team that wants in, and this team Dirty Birds comes, and they just paid, and I was like, wow, okay,
Ain't that nice, huh?
that's always good, and it's like I like to
Money
see
up front.
different people. I like to see different people trying the league out. Like, these
Yeah,
guys are coming from NR, and it's another great field, another great events from what I've heard.
me
They're
as well. Me
actually
as well.
they're,
Nothing but
they're
good things.
actually they're actually 30 minutes away from me now, so I'm gonna have to stop by an event this year. So I'm like 30 minutes away. I'm definitely gonna stop at an event. It's just what's event,
Yeah, dude, you guys got the competition. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, nah,
But no,
no
let us know how it is down
competition.
there.
No competition down there yet.
Nobody's
If I move
competition to
it,
you, boy. That's right. Sorry, I'm gonna
if
have to
I
edit that
move
out.
if I move into Maryland, if I move it, whatever.
Yeah,
I
dude,
it's
like
it's
wrestling
it,
back in
there's
the day,
enough
you'd taking over
there's enough
territories.
players. I can't even you know what I mean. If I wasn't
Right.
sold out, whatever.
Right.
But
Well, a little peek behind the curtain. I again could say, hey, shocker to the people out there. We're friends and we talk. But dude, I know you got people knocking on the door to get in your league. So I know you're saying, yeah, a team doesn't show up. You got but that goes back to what we were talking before, like how healthy our area is with talent, dude. Events are not having problems going off, dude. People want to play, which I think is fucking awesome.
I love it, man, and like you know. I used to be big into like rec ball weekly scene type of thing, and not as much anymore, but completely fine. I got my finger on the pulse, and
Yeah.
it's like Fields are doing well, man. And if your Fields not doing well, hit me up, and we'll try to help you out. But
Yeah. We'll give you
you
some
know,
love on the podcast and help you out.
yeah, or advice, whatever. I mean, like I'm in pain. I'm in paintball, and
Yeah.
like the more and more I think about do things, it's like I'm in paintball, man. Like and I think people are starting to get it a little bit more in like my personal life. So like
Yeah.
it's just this is what it is, man. And the podcast coming back, that's going to be great. The more podcasts, the better, man. Play the game, Carl's podcast, and I know I don't know if people know, but like Carl Markowski, longtime pro players coming back, and he's going to play for Level,
Which
which
I'm so psyched about, dude. I
I'm
can't wait.
stoked. I'm stoked about because one, again, it's local to him, but my good, we've had him on. We've had them on. Nick Carney with
Yep.
Dustin Pelosi. I gotta talk.
Shout out Nick. I actually seen like I'm sure you've been him too, but like pretty much every classic event I go play, Nick Carney is there, and he always daps me up or gives me a hug or something. So shout out to Nick. I love the beard,
Yeah,
dude. Keep it
shout out,
gray.
man. Shout out, Nick. Shout out, Justin Pelosi. And then a lot of those guys, like, it's just like, how can you not be a fan of that team when it's like the underdog thing? They work hard. They're the third. Well, I don't know about now because of this Lone Star thing. I don't know how the minors and
Right,
major, but they were the third ranked team going into Lone Star. Like, that's crazy.
dude. Crazy,
And
right?
what I like more on like the other end of things is that they're partnered now with this place called Saucy Brew Works. It's a beer, but it's there's two restaurants.
Mm.
So they had a viewing party, and it was like, all right, like you got $2 off a bucket of beer and like $2 off the pan pizza or whatever it was, and if you use, if you tell them Level or whatever. And so, like, they're a sponsor of Level, which is very cool. And
Oh,
then,
that's cool. I'd love to know more about that. I
and
wonder
it's
if they were
another
playing it
cool,
like on the TVs. Like it would be
they were
awesome if
playing it on the
they were.
TVs. They were playing the
That's
Lone
sick.
Star. So
That's
the
awesome.
Lone Star. And then and then there was like a little, like a special. So it's like if the Yankees were playing or whoever, like you go to a bar and they're like, oh, $2 drafts or whatever. But this was for paintball,
That's so cool.
so
That's
like
awesome. They're doing that. Oh,
that's crazy. Like that's great for the game.
that's so
So
good. Can you imagine going to like a local bar and you look up and it's just like whatever, like the Vegas is playing or something? Like that would be so sick.
dude, if I like if it was in my if it was within 2 hours of me, I would have went. But like
Right?
just because what I'm not going to Ohio
Right.
right now. But maybe eventually. But that's also things that um long term, man. That's great for the game and something like you know the podcast and like we stream the TSXL. These things is like if you support them, and we're not looking a little gripe here. Um, we're not looking for $1 million to sponsor any of these streams or things or whatever. Like, a relationship needs to be built, and I understand, and coupon codes. That's really the best way for all of this, for the podcast, for any of Go Sports, Comp, Paintball, any of these things, is that you guys use our code, you save, we get a little bit of a like kickback, I don't know if I need to explain this to everybody, but and then but like it all comes back, it all circles. Like there's enough money in paintball. I think there's enough money in paintball that if we all just come together a little bit more.
Dude, right? It could be so much better.
Because it's paintball's expensive, man.
Mm-hmm.
What do we, if you can't afford it, you're out, or someone's affording it for you, or whatever it is. I know we haven't been talking for a bit, but it's like even the Latin Saints, like all right, like that's. I think it's good for. Is it sustainable? Maybe not, but it's good for the game. If Alex Goldman gets a $100,000 contract, now everybody can kind of, okay, maybe you were making $0, but now you're making 10,000. Okay, it's slowly and surely getting there. But
the more you get owners like Diego that are willing to like fit the bill, I think it's better for the sport. Because it just gives an end game. It gives
and look what it did for it shook up the whole league.
Shook up the whole league.
Shook up the whole league, and then so now Impact needed to go get players. They got Axel Goldin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Axel is now coming from I'm not 100%, but coming from France. So obviously there's some kind of money gap. And Axel's a player that ain't coming for peanuts, right? Like he ain't coming for peanuts. He's got
Axel personally, but I can't imagine he would leave his buddies on the Tauntauns to come and play with Impact for high fives,
Right. And he wants to win. He's a baller. The guy I was watching, he's a baller, dude. What can I say about it? You know what I mean? But like I said, like the guys want to. I learned a long time ago, man. If guys want to pay, who am I to say? Like,
no,
it's their money.
Like, honestly, like if we're gonna how can you complain about someone making money to play the sport? Isn't that what we're all trying to do to call this pro? Like that just blows my mind. The people that hate on the Latin Saints. Like, again, but if everyone got paid, it would be pro. Like and granted, it may not be Yankee Aaron Judge money, whatever, $350 million contract, but
I think everybody.
If everyone made a little bit of money, they could call and it could focus their whole job on this, and it was their job. Like, I don't know.
I think everyone who devotes, and I was listening. I don't know if it was Joey Blue, Mike Himman. I think it was Joey Blue.
I listened to too much. I heard somebody said something.
I heard someone right, and I forget the exact numbers or whatever. But like, if everyone just made a base salary.
Right.
And also, in no other professional sport do people make as less. Like, I'm not talking like million. Everybody it should be. To be honest with you, it should be 100,000 and up. Maybe that's a little bit crazy, but it should be 100,000 baseline, or at least let's say 60. I say 60,000 baseline. Done deal, because you can't hold down a real job, really.
No.
If you're a professional paintball player, you really can't.
I know there's a couple that do it before, because I know we're about to get probably roasted by now. Everyone in the YouTube comments and stuff. There are people that do it, but you hear a lot of them talk. They're sacrificing a lot of their life if they have a full-time job and a paintball. A lot of them don't have kids. They're sacrificing a lot, so it's not that easy.
No, and I think that everybody should be, paid a living wage, and if you're a professional, whatever. I mean, but there's all kinds of different things riddled. I don't think TV's the answer. I think outside sponsors are a bit the answer. I think that, I heard someone say like maybe we should call it a war game. Like we are kind of playing war, and
Yeah.
it's like I think like the PC way or like markers versus guns or anything like that. Like at the end of the day, it's
Yeah, I think at
my,
the end of the
my
day, it doesn't
boys
matter
versus
what you.
your boys
Right.
in war. It's war,
You can
and
call it whatever you want. I didn't even think war might even sound better and give more attraction, but I think really video games have like, because remember that, don't call it a paintball gun, it's a paintball marker, because you don't want people think. Yeah, well, guess what? Call of Duty has like a gazillion viewers every single day, and they say gun and they shoot the fuck out of bullet. Like, so the
yeah,
terminology
yeah.
doesn't matter. What you're
Yeah,
calling it
we're
doesn't
not
matter.
we're not trying to recreate. You like it's warlike, but we're not, and it's good for people, man. At the end of the day, paintball is good for people. Like it's a stress reliever. You're getting outside, you're breathing fresh air. It's good for people.
It's like any other sport, man. And I think all sports and competition are good for people. I hate like we're fucking going off on a ranch right now, but I honestly don't even care. Like I hate how soft people have become and like this winning loot. Like, oh, we're all a winner and everyone gets a trophy. Like the thing I love about paintball, and there's a very clear winner and loser, and it's very clear when you're hit and when you're eliminated and when you're not. And I like that, man. It's okay.
It's all right, man.
It's all right.
Preference. Not everyone can win every event, so we're not. I know I used to be a little bit more crazy on that end of it. It
Uh-huh.
was like, oh, win every event or at least whatever. It's like you can't win every single event.
Right. And there's a difference
Dynasties had
between
good
like
runs.
the
Damages had
mindset.
good runs,
Right,
but
Dynasty had a good run, but the big difference is the mindset. Like I think every time you touch the box, you got to believe you can win. But if you don't win, you can't let it defeat you. You pick up, you move on, and you get better.
right, right. So going back into the
Rant
vault
over.
here, rant over shortly, but we're going some more. Um, we had the TSXL, so we went over the D5, we went over the D3
Oh
for
yeah,
at
just shout
least a
out. We
bit.
went through three, top three for D5 to really way again. Slug King won top three. Were first place. Step Bros were second, and Wolves D5 were third. And now we'll probably get into the D4 guys. They were all day Sunday, man.
D4, we ended up having 20 teams for D4. Both fields were cranking. We had comp on the stream. Um,
Cranking.
Cranking.
Yo, shout out to all the stick
Unfortunately,
corner
we didn't get
players, cause I
everybody on the stream, but and we're trying.
yeah.
We don't want to do back to backs. We don't, just so some people know, we don't want to do back to back. We'll try not to do back to backs. Sometimes it happens. Try not to have, games on the same time. There's two fields running, and this is, a little bit behind the scenes. It's all manual. The schedule.
Yeah.
It's not something that I just hit a button. Where it's all manual. So for days on end, I was trying to get everybody on the stream. Unfortunately, it can't happen that way. Shout out if your team didn't make it on the stream for event one. I do promise to get you on the stream for event two. I need the
Perfect.
franchise
It's good to
teams.
know
You
that you
guys
do
are
think
warned.
about those things. 'Cause I'm sure that I'm sure teams do appreciate that. That like, hey, listen, there was nothing I could do. I couldn't get you on this time, but listen, go when I make the schedule next time. It definitely is something that I'm keeping back in the back of my
Keep
mind.
keeping in mind. Unfortunately, some teams that had stream time last time aren't going to have it this time. Listen, if the stream goes well, we use the product codes. We'll get it on the stream. Like, we'll have two fields, and one will be on Twitch, and one will be on what eventually.
Yeah.
Go Sports just hired comp to do. Their semi-pro field. So
Yeah.
we're working on it, but
Right.
right
And
now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have everybody get on the webcast field. Unfortunately,
yeah.
I
Hey,
like the
just
current
keep playing the
structure.
events. Keep playing the events, and you'll get on them. Before we get off, because I know we'll probably go on another tangent. Like I actually love what comp paintball is doing. Not to dunk on the other leagues that try and do live streams, but and I know it costs you a pretty penny. It is not cheap, which is why you only have one field. But they really do a great job, man.
Shout out Bob Howe, shout out Matty Karpinski. Matty's been they've gotten a lot better. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not one to shy away from anything. They've
it's
definitely gotten a lot
it's like us
better.
with this, dude. I go listen to some of our earlier episodes and stuff, and it's a little cringe sometimes. I'm like, oh man, dude. But
This
like
one might be
everyone
like
starts
that,
somewhere.
but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Honestly, this one's for us. I'm sorry, guys. This one's for me and Waldo. We're having a great time. We're laughing. We're smiling. It's for us. I hope
I'm
you guys are
loving it.
enjoying it as much as we are.
I'm loving it. And if not, roast me in the comments or whatever
Yeah.
you got to do. I don't
Whatever. My face is stupid.
all
Whatever.
all comments, whatever, man. We're gonna reply to them, and we'll give you our honest feedback as always. So, man, again, you know, shout out. You know, I know they're starting to have more of a team together, the Comp guys. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know, like Steve Mago, and
Hmm.
then I know Brad from Blizzard helped out.
The last
So
time, yep.
hopefully, all these guys continue
Yeah.
because I thought that this last stream, as far as going down or anything like that, or weird stuff, things that are more in their control, was the best one yet. And I, I goes like, you know, no knock on any of the other things, but I've seen other streams go down. Our stream has gone down at times, and big thing, just so everyone knows a little bit too, though, is usually when the stream goes down, it's the internet at the field
Yeah.
that's throttling. You know, sometimes like, you know, when you use a lot of bandwidth and stuff, it'll throttle you down, so the stream will look worse. But I think that we're doing a very good job now. We're learning as things go on. Again, if you want to ever get on the stream, you're at the event, come by, talk to either, you know, Bob Howe or Maddie before the event, hopefully. And if not, they're kind of busy guys. Talk to Justin Wood. He's
Right.
he's my he's the guy that's running the show right now, Justin Wood. He's in command of TSXL. So, you know, if I'm the CEO, he's the COO. So anything you need, Justin Wood will always be able to help you out at the events. And again, we have other people. But going into the D4, just rattle off the top three to kind of jog my memory again. I know we had Wolves Blackout, I
Yep.
believe, was first. Second was
Yep.
Back,
Yep.
Free
And
Agent
Step
Contract
Bros.
Killers, and then Step Bros. Great. So again, you know, we'll start with the Step Bros. You know, Step Bros in fact had a interesting match to say the least.
Yeah.
Either one of those teams could have made it on. I'll kind of just say it like that. Um,
No, their match was really good. Even as a ref, like, thank God there was like 40 refs on the field because even there were times it was going on, and I'm like, oh, I gotta ref this game because I found myself like watching because I'm like, oh, it's so good. Oh man, this guy just made a crazy move. Oh shit.
Absolutely. So both of those teams, you know, Step Bros ended up. Um, I I don't. I think they played. Oh, they played one of the other Wolves lines. So
For third and
semifinal
fourth, yeah.
for third and fourth, and I think they ended up
They,
smoking them up. I'm
yeah, I
not
think they
sure.
did.
Yeah, they ended up.
Sorry,
I think
Danny.
they ended. Up, but I think that because they, you know, I think they finally got the, you know, the cojones to kind of like step up because, you know, no matter what happened in that other match, they stepped up that last match and they got
Yep.
third.
I
And
say it all the
luck
time, and I say it all the time, but I think one of the harder things in paintball is to take third when you lose that match. Because, dude,
that third and
everyone's
fourth place
defeated.
match is always the one, and I'm always like, it's like, dude, you know, me personally, I'm always the guy that's like, me
Yo, let's get this
personally, I'm like,
money. Let's get this
yo,
money.
yeah, paint bill lower, or but the big thing to me is, man, is I want to go at least go, let's go out on a win,
Yeah.
and then we can learn. You know, when you get fourth is the worst thing in
Oh, yeah.
paintball.
Because you get nothing.
Fourth,
You literally
you,
nothing.
you get nothing. You get nothing. You know, some other leagues and some other people, you know, you get fourth. To
No,
me,
you get nothing. I
fourth is
hate that shit. You
nothing.
get nothing. Fourth is nothing. Don't give
Fourth
me
is
anything for
nothing.
fourth.
Right. So luckily, like, you know, luckily for the Step Bros, you know, they stepped up, they did it, they got it done. Um, I know a lot of those guys see him. They're always grinding that long leg. Both of their teams, D5 we talked about, the
Right.
D4 line. They picked up the Lynch brothers. They had a
Lynch
they have a
mob.
big Lynch mob. They were coaching them. Now they're playing, and they're kind of loaded roster now, ballooned
Yeah.
up to like 10 guys, and you got a
Picked up the
lot of
little brother I
guys
never wanted in Carter.
and Carter, right? Right. So, you have Carter, you have Nico, you have
Yep.
Josh, three young killers. And then you
Really young
got,
kids.
right? And then you got the Lynch brothers came in, right? And then you're like, all right,
And
well,
they've been
then
playing for a hot minute, and they're kind of like us. They play a lot too. They're at skirmish. They play big games. They play fucking mechanical shit too.
everything, man. And they've played a little bit of higher end ball, like D3. So, like, like they're a good fit. But it's like also then you got guys that are riding the bench that are like they could play on other teams and they
Yeah.
could start on other teams. And I'm not talking the lower end, like there'll be their upper end guys like Ryan and Mark and this, Eddie Pagan,
Right.
those, and like I didn't even mention those guys. And like, now I'm talking about a 10-man, a little bit of a bloated roster. It's like, all those guys are killers. So I think the first event there was a little bit of like a me watching
Yeah.
um too many just too many guys for too many guys, and I don't think they're all great gunfighters, all great players, but I don't think they did they got the lay at 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think I think they were I think just based on skill alone they got a third place. But if you watch them earlier in the day, you're like, this doesn't look like a team that's gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
still could have made it onto the finals, no doubt. Like, like though I'm not taking anything away. Like the fact in Stepbro's match could have could have gone either way. Ends up being, Fack versus Wolves Blackout. Um, I was watching for the for the audience. I was now watching on the stream. Any of these finals matches for D4, D5, I was there all day. D4, sorry, I didn't make it. I saw most of it, but I had other things going on. But should be at event two. Don't quote me, but I should be at event two. Quote me, write it down. I don't care. I'll be at event two. Either way, don't know if I'm going to be there both days all day, but I'll be at event two for at least a bit.
Hell yeah.
So Wolves Blackout ends up coming up against back, free agent contract killers or Filipino American, Team Philippines. Shout out to
Right.
Ferdinand.
Their team of many
Ferdinand
names.
Ferdinand, Nick Banta, you got Chaz, the Manolo brothers. Some of them are, I know they're all part of it, so some of them played, some of them didn't. Shout out to anyone that plays in my league. And they played Wolves Blackout. You had, Mike Arlotta, Dylan Jolly, John, Russ
Yeah.
Martinez, John Green, and I heard from just like the grapevine is that these Wolves Blackout guys were playing pretty good. And this is a new line to
Yeah.
Wolves. You have,
They were smoking dudes, man. Smoking dudes.
I, like I was watching some of the games. They were smoking people. They were smoking people in practice. So like they were looking good. Shout out to Mike Arlotta.
Yeah.
I know he put a lot of work into that line. I know the team put a lot of work in. Bubbles and things of that nature and getting to the
They
field
knew
on.
that field, man. They like, bro. They knew that field so good. Jolly could have ran his routes with his eyes closed. Like,
And shout out to Dylan Jolly, double first. He got first with
yeah,
Slug King in D5, first, and then he played the next day. I know he's an overshot team eight
veteran
team. I'm gonna say, anybody that
teammate.
has done our jersey for an event or has a jersey, made.
No,
If
you
you
guys
have a
are great.
jersey,
Honestly, you guys are
you're
family to us. There's a like
you're
if you've
part.
ever
You're
played with us, especially the blue one. I was talking to my girlfriend about this because she saw the blue one on the wall and she really liked it. I was like, listen, dude, not a lot of people have that blue one, man. So if you got one of the blue overshot jerseys, just know you're yeah,
I'm very particular. Like
yeah,
we put up that post and everyone wanted the blue jersey and the blue pants, and we're gonna have stuff for you guys. Don't worry. But
right.
anything that's a factory team edition, it's a
So
factory
those are the
team
homies.
edition.
You see someone walk around one of those are the homies.
Those are the factory team edition. And listen, everyone's gonna be a homie, and we're gonna go to a big game, and there's gonna be 30 people with overshot podcast jerseys on, running amok.
Can you
But
imagine, dude? That'd be a sight.
it's not far off. It's not far off because you know what? We have plenty of fans, plenty of people, and I'm sure we go to a game, it's gonna be rocking out like that. Gotta give
Rocking
enough
out.
notice. Gotta give enough notice, but we're gonna, rocking out. So if you have any jersey ideas or pants ideas, but stuff's always in the back burner. So let us know if
Yeah.
if if I order one jersey or 30, it's gonna happen. But I know we got fans out there. I know we got supporters. I know people are fans of me, fans of him, fans of the show. So, like I said, one day we're gonna rock out to some big game, and I'm telling you, sooner than later, it's
Hell
gonna
yeah, man.
it's
And
gonna be nuts.
if you guys support us enough, because I know I get asked all the time, and I know he does too, bro. If enough of you guys want to come support us at a big game, we'll general a big game if we get enough of our crew. I get asked all the time to general big games. I'd have to imagine Waldo does because he's better at it than I am. So you're
And
listening to
haven't
this.
been in a bit. But
You
that's always an option. That's always an option, and
right? It's in your hands now, guys. So if you reach out to us with enough of you guys, I want to roll out to a big game and go murder some guys. We might be able to make the second part happen.
yeah, anything past August, you know, as long as it's not a TSXL weekend, probably can get me out there. Probably can get this guy out there. So
Right?
with
It's gonna
enough
be
no,
hot. I mean,
with
with
enough no,
X Ball and the national events happen, you can't don't really lock us into anything in the near future because we are definitely gonna be busy people between popping out episodes for you. Like I said, I mean, as we're recording this right now, TSXL layout dropped today, so we'll be busy. But like I said, we
what's your
love big
thoughts on
games.
what's your thoughts on that? We're using the NXL Lone Star layout.
Yeah,
So I mean, listen, um, regardless of what people say, I do actually, look into things, and um, I watched probably, I don't know, 12 hours of footage of, the NXL. No, let's not say two, because 2 days. Let's just say 6 hours conservatively
yeah.
of footage on this NXL Lone Star layout. I personally liked it. I personally enjoyed it. I also
I loved it, dude.
reached out to all the fields that are pretty local to me. Cousins Paintball, High Velocity, Long Live, where the event's held, OTP, and Quick Shot.
Yeah, because
Newfield
they're back
looks,
now.
they're back. Two fields look great. Shout out to Babo.
The
He did
pictures look very
great.
nice.
Shout out to whoever helped Babo with that. I will eventually go down there and check it out and play a rec day or whatever down there. But none of those fields had the layout, right? So, I didn't just pick a layout. Some teams, unfortunately, some teams want NXL layout. Some teams want blind layout. Some teams want, custom layouts. Some teams don't like custom layouts because it's people don't make them right, or there's a lot going on to a field also that the average player doesn't usually understand. I don't understand 100%, but I understand it. But I listen. You guys got ideas for fields? can send them my way. But you also got to realize sometimes that it doesn't really work out either player wise, reffing wise. Like if I had a field where the middle was all cans and pins instead of the big bunkers, then the middle guy's not going to like it.
Right. We
You
were talking
know,
about this
so
off air. There's always going to be someone who's not happy. Someone's not happy.
right. So I mean, kind of, what's your thoughts on the layout? I mean, did you watch any
I
of this Lone Star Open?
Yeah, you know me and you were conversing like physically watch not too much because unfortunately I had to work, but I had a plan. I listened. I heard Maddie talk about it all. I'm excited. Like, and I actually think it's cool that you're doing it because now I'm as someone who didn't get to go to Lone Star Open. I'm excited to get to play on it because it looks so fun.
And I think as people play it more, they're gonna realize like it's gonna be fun. And
Yeah.
then like some of the old school type of guys, I think they have a little bit like a lot of the new school guys, it's different.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
so different.
it's different. But the other thing too, though, is like people always got to realize is that paintball is paintball. Big games, scenario, woods, or whatever. And what other things people end up you learn this over time. There's only so many different things. Obviously
Yep.
you get a little bit better each time, but it's like you come out of Dorito. There's only certain things you're gonna see. All right, so like this lane's blocked. I gotta go do this. I gotta do
Right.
that. Once you kind of over time you'll pick up these things. Is that you got But I thought again going back to the Lone Star Open, there was high scoring games,
Yeah.
which is entertaining. I like listen. If I don't know you, I don't really care normally. I don't
Yeah.
like, like I hope every team wins a TSXL and I hope every team gets whatever gold. And I wish I could give away $1 million. I do, but not happening, not
Right.
realistic, whatever. But the Lone Star layout, I think you can, Doritos, Snake, mostly people were winning kind of through the middle.
Right.
Spoiler alert, but like any team that's listening to this and any team that does the research or whatever, is the team that's going to do the research and it's going to do it. You know,
Right.
the
The
team
team that
that
was gonna
spent
do
a
that is
thousand
gonna do
dollars,
it anyway.
the team that spent $2,000 playing NXL might be a little bit different than the local team or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I think the Lone Star layout was great. I think that a lot of people thought Dynasty was going to do well because of old school or whatever.
Yeah. Boy, were
I
they
didn't
wrong.
think so. I personally didn't think so because if you ever listen to Marcelo and play the game, Marcelo's a big
He
time
likes. Yep. He likes to
double
put in the
layout
work.
weekends, loves to put in the work, workhorse type of guy. He likes that. As far as some of the other guys, you know, but a lot of those guys haven't really played blind. Like obviously, okay, so like Ryan and Yosh and the old guard, but you got Urena now, you got Arturo, you got
Right.
Blake. Like a lot of these guys, and I'm not dogging any, a lot of they really haven't. So and they'll even say it too. So. But look, I mean, but the event winner was, Damage, and they haven't won in a long time, and they
Right.
always look well, man. They always look like a oiled machine, and
They're never able
it's
to
like
break through.
it's like X Factor back in the day. Like X
Yeah. Yeah.
Factor
Yeah. Yeah.
couldn't like break that hump, and then all of a sudden they broke the hump. So like Damage, and what I like is between the two layouts, the Lone Star and the Sunshine. I think that, and it's good and bad that all the teams are. It's I feel like everybody's like coming up to this like level, and it's like I feel like paintball's a lot better to watch, honestly, and
Yeah.
I think the teams are more even, and I think shout out to my dudes on Seattle Thunder, the old Bears guys.
Yeah.
They we go back to the Sunshine. They ended up winning one and losing three, but all their games
We're close.
were close games, overtime games. They were in every game, and just I'm telling you, when Philly comes out, like they're gonna I know they're gonna put in the work because I know those guys,
Right.
Robbie and Joey, and Nick and Jared and all those guys, and I know Corey, Corey's
I was gonna say even the
Corey
Thunder guys that
Field.
we know, Corey. I know Patty's fucking out there, ripped and shredded as hell.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they're gonna be some
Yeah, they're gonna need a little
contenders.
time to gel. They're basically a new team.
Yeah, a completely new team, and I know there'll probably be a different name next year, but I mean, whatever.
Right. But still,
It's
again, representing from our area, I'm excited to see where they go.
absolutely, man. And then I know it's damage. I'm like losing my train of thought here.
You're talking to
Impact,
Impact. Yeah.
Impact, man, and Impact did. Was it? Did it make? I don't think they made Sunday last event.
I don't think they made Sunday last event because they're having like I mean
No, they
we were
didn't.
talking about it with the Latin Saints. They're going through a little bit of a transition right now.
Oh
I
no,
mean,
they did make the last event. They did make Sunday the last event, and Latin Saints beat them by
you're
one
right. You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to get in. You know what I mean? So shout out to Dynasty, shout out to Latin Saints on 1 and 2 the first event, and then you got Impact and Damage. So it's good to see different people get the top two spots. You
Different. Do you
know,
like that? Because I like that. I wasn't a big fan. Like it was great to see like greatness or however you want to say. But when Impact was Impact and just winning everything, was not enjoying it as much as it is now, where you see different teams doing up. You got teams
the only
like
time
Energy
I
Elite
kind of
looking good. I mean, Energy Elite taking
Energy
fourth
Elite just
place.
did
I mean,
really good.
Jesus, dude.
Energy Elite look.
I mean, it's been
I'm gonna be
15
honest.
minutes, and this is the first time we brought up Energy Elite. I mean, what's wrong with us? I mean, they look great.
They look fantastic. Honestly, this last event. So like I said, the league's looking strong.
Really strong.
I don't like league's looking strong.
I think the parity is good. Like they're saying, like the other sports or whatever. Like the fact that anyone can win an event is good. And before we get too far off, I want to give a super shout out, dude, because I know you follow him closely too. Dude, Kyle Barry, man, what he does for the Kings, man, and what he's just been doing, dude. You deserve a shout out, my guy.
No, I know he definitely is putting in the work, man. And he's a New York guy transplanted to Florida, I think right now. But
Yeah,
he's
helped us
an
out in the early
upstate guy,
stages, so of course he's gonna get big love from me.
hard worker. Yeah, man. Or
What was he,
always down for the. He loves the
fifth
game.
episode?
He
Fucking
loves the game. He loves
loves
the
the game.
game. Good guy. Again, ML Kings now making 2 Sundays in a row. Then they
Yeah,
got their brakes blown off, but it's a big step because they
big
were going
step.
to be relegated, and it's a big step. And shout out also, I know he was looking real good last event. John Peterson, he's
Yeah,
actually from our area as well, the Northeast. Um, and then Jim Corricorn,
yep. Also plays on Kings.
also plays on Kings. Also's been on an episode with us. Very, very, very humble guy. He's a local guy.
Yep.
Not a lot to say unless you go and talk to him.
Yeah,
And then when you go to talk to him, what he said is very valuable.
yeah. Very profound. But I love
Exactly.
Jimbo. Yeah, that everything about the paintball is just great right now, man. The parity in the league, so many. They got majors and minors. Local events are doing good. I mean, just great to be balling again, man.
Yeah, man. I'm down to get back out there for all these events and stuff like that. Once I'm full steam ahead, I'm gonna be doing a lot. So definitely missed missed the game. I'm back in it with the podcast. I've always had my hand in it, but
Yeah,
I definitely need to get out on that field and rip some. Um, shout out to everybody that's been supporting. Through everything and supporting the league, supporting Overshot still, even
still.
in the downtime.
Yeah.
No
Even if you
secrets. We
think we
saw
weren't
the
noticing, we
downloads.
noticed things. We
We
still see
do
the
saw the
downloads. Yeah.
downloads. We saw, I saw people using the code. I people hitting up the pages and stuff like that, asking, making sure. So we appreciate everything everybody has done
We
from the
honestly we
bottom
do.
of our
We
heart.
can't say that enough. Like we were talking about off air. Like, dude, I couldn't go play without talking to people for like 3 hours about the show. You guys missed it. You guys wanted to know more, and like words couldn't express how grateful I am for all of you guys that listen. Really.
Yeah, man, and we definitely appreciate it. I think this is a good time to kind of wrap it up
I
on our
do.
first
And again,
first
dude,
episode.
sorry, not sorry. We're all over the place. I know a lot happened since the last time we talked to you. We tried to keep it as narrow as possible without going all over the place, but honestly, so much we would just want to talk about. But I think this is a good spot, dude. We're back, baby. We're back.
Share it up, baby. Share it up.
Share it up, dude. I don't know what the next one will be. Probably a little post event thing. For possibly TSXL will maybe be the next event, or we might even bust out an interview next. We don't know, but there will be an episode soon, guys. Thank you again to all the listeners. Thank you again, Daizan and Volcano, for your continued support. And we'll love all of you, and we catch all you guys on the next one, man. Take it easy, guys.
Thank